The men's and women's cross-country teams ran at regionals last Friday at Van Cortlandt Park. The terrain was tough, but the women finished in 10th place overall. Runner Christina Melian qualified and will be running at nationals in Indiana this Saturday. And you said it was a long season, so what were the biggest improvements that you made from the beginning and especially to the end of the season when you guys were successful? A new era of Stony Brook athletics has officially taken its next step in a new chapter of swimming and diving after a 5-year hiatus from the sport. Director of Athletics Sean Heilbrun announced that Janelle Atkinson will become the head coach of the swimming and diving program.
It's the Seahawks versus the Cougars for the second consecutive week. H. Frank Carey will be hosting JFK, and H. Frank Carey got the better half last week, 40-23. But now, since it's the playoffs, everything can change.
All right, Tyler DeMayo.
Yes.
Again, a terrific performance. And great team against Mepham. 3-point game. No one was expecting this. How did you feel you played today?
So Isaiah Mitchell, huge play. You probably made the biggest play today, making that big 39-yard blocked kick. What was going through your mind before that play even happened? Explain to me when Lawrence is going up for that 39-yard field goal. You have Isaiah Mitchell, a large specimen on that line coming up for it. What's going through your mind before that kick's going off? Defensive showdown between two Nassau powerhouses in Mepham and Elmont High School. Only 2 scores in the first quarter, and that was it for the first half. Elmont struck first, with Aaron Ruthman striking a 28-yard pass to his wide receiver Lucas Mathieu, and also a 2-point conversion to Vince McDonald to make it 8-0. And then in the ensuing drive for Mepham, it was Michael Valentino with a 3-yard touchdown that tied it up at 8 apiece. 7 Malcolm, we're number 8.
Yeah.
That 42-yard touchdown, that was pretty something special, huh? How was the emotion on the sideline after him running 42 yards for that touchdown? Michael Jello here, and 2 nice touchdowns, a 21 and a 41-yarder. Was that a spark plug for this offense? The crowd was erupting here at Elmont High School after number 99, J-Del Richardson, stopped Michael Valentino on 4th and 7 with 1 yard left to play. Elmont was victorious 28-23 and are advancing to the next round in the Nassau football playoffs. West Islip High School and Bellport High School, it's the Suffolk football playoffs, and the first half was quite a good one. James Morrell of Bellport was playing very well with 2 touchdowns until he threw a pick 6 to Patrick Mulcahy for 60 yards. 14-7 at the half right now. Anything can go. How resilient is this West Islip team, especially for a playoff game, for you guys going against a good Bellport team?
Dylan.
This team just did not quit all game. Down 14-0 in the second quarter, you guys throw to a touchdown. Then you tie it with that 65-yard touchdown. How big was that momentum shift for West Islip?
How does it feel to be a part of such an emotional team?
We've overcome a lot, and one of our strong words is finish, and we're always like a family. And we started off the season slow, 0-2. We have a lot of new kids. We're getting into the groove now.
Newfield High School senior running back Eli Riley is a sensational athlete. At 6 feet, 200 pounds, he bench presses 225, squats 405, has a 36-inch vertical, and runs a 4.6 40-yard dash.
Last season, Riley led the Wolverines to their first ever undefeated season and second Long Island championship in school history. His work ethic cultivated him to do courageous things on the field, and now he's about to do courageous things off of it. The all-county running back will be attending Army in the fall to play football, and then he'll be serving our country.
West Point was on the highest stage, playing Notre Dame, Navy, big games like that, and they had some of the greatest academics in the country, ranking amongst the Ivy Leagues. It was a 40-year decision, not a 4-year decision. Great-grandfather fought in Vietnam, but I'll be the first one to really go militaristic from my core family.
Riley earned prestigious accolades in his senior season, rushing over 1,000 yards and scored a school record 31 touchdowns. He finished with 1,934 all-purpose yards and set the Suffolk record for points scored with 518. But for Riley, it's not all about him.
It's a great feeling. It's something that people dream of and stuff. Definitely a team award though, because without them, it couldn't be done.
Along with being a great athlete, Riley is a stellar student with a 3.6 GPA, taking honors, AP, and college-level courses.
Everybody at home has a high degree, They'll preach doing well in school before doing well in the field. And without that, I wouldn't be able to play or perform at the highest level.
His teammate, Jelani Green, explained how Riley is something special on and off the field.
I mean, he's gonna be Army. He's probably gonna be one of the greatest players there, to be honest. I mean, I feel he could have played at any school. I mean, everything he does is just to get better every rep. So I feel like if he fails at something, he'll do the same thing 100 times until he gets it perfect.
The senior running back says he's looking forward to the challenge in the fall.
Just anxious. I want to get there to see what there is beyond it, especially going through the pre-med program, plebe year and everything, basic courses. But beyond that, it's going to get tough.
For Stony Brook News, this is Jim Ferchland signing out. In the third quarter, Joe Carbone lines up behind center and then drops back in the shotgun, awaiting the snap. And it's a tough one, but hands it off to Donald Leontine, the local kid out of Medford, for the 1-yard score to make it 27-7. But the Seawolves still have a lot of work to do. And by Garden City standards, 4 years without a county championship seems like an eternity. And that's what was staring the Trojans in the face if they couldn't get past Cary today. Our News 12 varsity starts with the Nassau Conference 2 title game. The Seahawks beat Garden City 2 of the last 3 finals, and Dan Conti gives them an early 7-0 lead. But then the Trojans wake up. Now tied in the second, Colin Hart to Harry Blair. The 6-yard hookup gives the Trojans their first lead. And here's where everything really changed. Garden City facing a 3rd and long from deep in their own territory. But as you can see, Jack Bill gets it and a whole lot more. How about 86 yards, the first of his 2 touchdowns? It's time to celebrate with some Gatorade. Garden City advances to the LIC with the 42-14 victory. This play happened in the third quarter when Stony Brook was trailing 29-7. And what you are about to witness is something Joe Carbone rarely does. Watch out. And he drops back in the shotgun, relaxing in the pocket, and launches a deep strike to Tim Keith for the 38-yard score. Keith runs the seam route, gets past his defender Prince Smith Jr., and hauls in his first touchdown of the season. He had a fantastic game with 5 receptions, 82 yards, and this touchdown. It's been an incredible few weeks for Stony Brook's Jameel Warney. First, Warney had a dominating 43-point performance, which led the Seawolves to the NCAA tournament for the first time ever. Now, Warney has been named an Associated Press All-American for the 2nd straight year. The Stony Brook forward is currently prepping for the NBA draft, and some experts predict he'll be drafted in the 2nd round. College ball, LIU Post hosting its first Division II playoff game in more than a decade, and it was well worth the wait. The chant hasn't worked for the Jets this year, but it did for the Pioneers today, hosting Winston-Salem State. Early on, though, some trouble. Post quarterback Jeff Kidd picked off on their first drive. It's a pick 6. Pioneers trail 7-0. But boy, did they respond. Kidd looks deep and hits Kyle Ward. It's a 23-yard touchdown. Kidd had 4 touchdowns, and what a day for former Sachem North Star Malik Pierre. He had 115 yards rushing along with 3 touchdowns. The Pioneers are moving on to the 2nd round of the NCAA tournament. For the first time since 2005, they win 48-41.